Look, Kyle, we're going to be straight with you. If you want people to like your film, do not misadvertise it. Hello there, people of YouTube, and welcome to the Spikehead podcast for another movie review. Today we'll be talking about Mary, Queen of Scots, directed by Josie Rourke and starring Saoirse Ronan, Margot Robbie, Ishmael Cordova, and Jack London. And this is about the dynamic between Mary, Queen of Scots, and Elizabeth I, and how they are at odds with each other until Mary, Queen of Scots' eventual beheading and death. Now that's how it's advertised, but this film has very little of Elizabeth versus Mary. This is all about Mary and her struggle to unite the two kingdoms and to earn the respect of her courtmen, simply because she is a Catholic and everyone else wants to be a Protestant. Now, to begin with some positives here, Mary's character herself is ridiculously strong. She takes no shit off anybody. Every time someone's at odds with her, she just says, "You like how I run things here? You can go." And I love that dynamic about her. I love how we see her being childish and a bit playful with her handmaidens and her good friend David. But I do love as well, when she's in court and when she's in action, she wants to lay down the law and make sure everyone's on her page, and if not, they can get out. And she's also very merciful, which I really do like about her character. I also loved it when she became more vulnerable. While she wants to be the strong queen, the strong independent queen, she is very highly emotionally impacted by things going on around her. There was a certain thing that happens halfway through the film that is absolutely gut-wrenching and appalling. And her reaction to it and how she sucks it up afterwards is really fantastic as well. This also did a very good job of mirroring that time period. That was a time period where you had to be Catholic or Protestant, and if you were the opposite, everyone wanted to kill you, basically, just because you all believe. So the dynamic of these courtmen being very appalled that they are having to follow orders from a woman Catholic is very strong and very right with the times there. Just the absurdity of their anger at her is ridiculous as well. The fact that no matter how many times she proves herself to be a good leader, just because of the fact she has tits and she is the opposite of what they want in terms of religion, they are determined to tear her down, and this film was all about her struggle to try and cope with that. I also really love the landscapes they provide here. They remind me very much of the Peak District that are close by to where I live in England, and I do like how they use a lot of countryside to get these nice big landscapes. And the costume design is fantastic as well. Everyone looks fantastic in this movie. I particularly enjoyed the makeup job they did on Margot Robbie later on. There's a reason she looks like the Queen of Hearts in the trailer, and I will not spoil that here, but it is a very good bit of costume design. And I just like the world it sets up as well, just with how dirty and grimy it is, but how everyone is really happy in that world as well. It is very enjoyable to say the least, and I do love how the plot gets going bit by bit. There are some flaws that I have with the plot itself, which I'll go into a bit later on, but it's great to see this person, this iconic individual that I learned about way back in school, like in year 8 or year 9. Great to see her story finally being brought to the big screen here. Without getting onto some negative aspects of the film, I will say this is very much falsely advertised. The trailers paint this as sister versus sister, Elizabeth versus Mary, and how they are at odds with each other, and Mary's being defiant over Elizabeth's iron fist grasp over her rule. It's not like that. You get that for maybe 20 minutes at the start, and then there's a footnote at the end where they finally meet. They did not meet for this entire damn film, apart from that one scene in the trailer where Mary's calling her inferior. And that is a big letdown, because it's played like they're at odds with each other, but they hardly ever interact. It is quite ridiculous. There are some letters that they interact with each other, but there is very little when they're at war with each other. There's very little sense that they're actually at each other's throats, which is ridiculous, because in school I was taught that Elizabeth hated Mary with a passion. That's why Mary is in prison for a number of years, which, by the way, that is glossed over. We do not see her years and years of imprisonment. We just go straight to the imprisonment to her. That's it. And if you're going to say a spoiler here, well, it's history. Look the history, then go watch the film, because we know how it ends, and the film gives away how it ends at the start. So, not really spoilery in my personal opinion, because that's history. The film does get very, very, very repetitive. It seems like Mary's arc is literally Get close to someone, get betrayed. Get close to someone, get betrayed. Prove herself, get betrayed again. She's betrayed like 5 or 6 times in this film. It does get really tiresome at times. There are some times where I really wish that Mary would just pull out a dagger and slit some of these people's throats, because it was ridiculous how much they betray her and lie through the teeth and do these crocodile tears. It is really frustrating that her entire story is tied down to just betrayal, betrayal, betrayal. Like, she's proven to be a good leader time and time again, and it really fathers the mind why no one wants to take her as a leader. The fact she's a Catholic, as much as I say that's a big part of it, it doesn't really get mentioned much after the first half hour. When she first arrives, yep, everyone's doubting it and questioning it, but after that, it's a lot of just, oh, she's a woman, so we must uprise and go against her. While it's probably partially true, I don't think it's the whole picture of what actually happened back then. So that is a real shame as well. Also, there is a very big lack of Margot Robbie in this. She is second billing in this, and she has maybe 20 minutes of screen time, if that. And half of screen time is just very in the clouds, floating in space. Not a whole lot she's really doing there. So, again, feel like the Hollywood studio did misadvertise this once again, and that really knocks down the film in terms of points for me. Also, as much as I love Mary's character and how strong she is, there are times where her attitude does her more harm than good. There is that scene in the trailer where she's calling Elizabeth her inferior. She's begging for her help at this point. You don't ask for help and then insult the person that's you're trying to get the help you. This does not work. And it is a really frustrating part of the film, because Mary, we love you, but Jesus Christ, your attitude literally got you into so much shit in this film. But getting the performances, the actress that plays Mary, Saoirse Ronan, she is really good at this. I don't know why she's not been given more praise for her performance, because she is really good. She shows a great sense of strength and also a great sense of vulnerability. She is very good in this film. Margot Robbie, I love Margot Robbie, but I do not get why she has been nominated as supporting actress in this, because she literally has a bit part, and there is very little in this that she really does. There's nothing groundbreaking or amazing about her performance at all in this, though she's a good actress, so I will say it is a good performance, but nothing award-worthy in my personal opinion. Ishmael Cruz Cordova is fantastic in this as well. I loved his character. I'm not going to say what goes on with his character, but I loved his dynamic. I loved his banter with the girls and Mary. I absolutely loved every part of his performance. Jack Lowden, he plays Mary's first husband, who is an absolute arse. A pathetic arse, effectively, and he plays that role really well. There is definitely a lot of the attitude of the time there, where he's constantly saying, you're supposed to do the duties of being a wife, which back then, yeah, that's exactly what the duties were, and he could not handle the role reversal, so I'm glad the work's progressed since then, but in terms of what he had to play there, he was really good in that role. As for the other performances, honestly, I do not remember certain actors besides these four, because everyone else is just a bearded person that's angry for no reason whatsoever, and is always betraying, and it's very cut and paste characters. There is one character with a really, really, really big beard, whose name I can't remember, but I do love his passion and anger in his scenes, and I should have really researched up before reviewing this, but there's not a whole lot I could really say about the performance other than he does anger better than some of the other guys that also did anger in this. Overall, Mary Queen of Scots is a perfectly fine film. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. Considering out of the films I watched all in one day and no sleep, that was the one that kept my attention the most. That is a big plus for it, because dark cinema, I'm dozing off in those seats and I'm having to struggle to stay awake the whole damn time. So the fact this film grabbed my attention more than some of the other films I saw that day really helps it a lot. I do wish the film was advertised more as Mary struggling to convince people she's the right leader for them, as opposed to being advertised as Mary versus Elizabeth, because there was very little in this. There's a bit at the end where Elizabeth's writing a letter to Mary, pouring her heart out to her, and I didn't feel anything for it, simply because their relationship was never truly built, and it's just a whole lot of betrayal, Game of Thrones style, with less blood and boobs. Overall, guys, Mary Queen of Scots, I am going to say, just needs a bit more sugar just to reach that level of good that I want in these sorts of films. It's nice to see a story told on the big screen, but I feel like it could have been done a little bit better. But anyway, guys, have you seen Mary Queen of Scots? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comments below. And feel free to hit that round subscribe button for more content that is coming all the time, and see my latest works over here. And I hope you all have a good day, guys. The next review coming up will probably be Vice, if all's well and good. But until then, guys, this is that Spikehead Podcast, signing off.